Okay. I would also say SBA's first sweep actually found over $400 billion worth of further investigation, they would say. But then they continued beyond that initial automated screening with additional layers of review, from data analytic treatment to human-led manual review in order to weed out false positives. And that's where they got their $36 billion figure. And they argue that your white paper's estimate of $200 billion is so high because that figure is based on only an initial automated screening and therefore includes false positives. What do you say to that?
I think that's absolutely false. I think it's important to be on record as stating that the only investigations that SBA can conduct are those conducted by the investigative arm of SBA. We are the law enforcement authority. This is our business. Fighting fraud is what we do. We are fully equipped to opine on what the potential fraud in the program is. SBA does not have access to the data sets that we have access to, number one. Number two, they don't sit in the middle of the fraud fight across the nation in U.S. attorneys' offices in every single state, in the Department of Justice, working with the task forces, working with all the different law enforcement entities.
Well, you do say that you periodically refine your overall fraud numbers to eliminate false positives, correct?
Which we did in this report.
But can your office reconcile the differences with the SBA in order to provide the committee with a more consistent estimate of the likely fraud?
I believe, like, honestly, with the reconciliation of those numbers, they're never going to be possible. They cannot have access to many of the data sets that we have access to for law enforcement purposes. I could provide to SBA every loan number that I can provide to them under the IG Act and under U.S. Attorney's rules and everything else. That's what I can do. However, more importantly, which is why it was surprising that it would be such an attack on a number, I think we get a little sidetracked with the number when we should be talking about the control environment that's necessary in any future program going forward and our ability to claw back as much funds as we possibly can. I would be as upset and passionate if I found that the number was 30-something billion, but I'm sitting in the middle of the fight, and 30-something billion dollars is just not a logical number.